How much did Biden pay in taxes? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode at Novarise Invest, your channel for financial education. So today we're going to talk about taxes. I know I'm slightly late in the game. I know that the tax deadline was recently passed on April 18. However, I couldn't let this one go by because I stumbled across this article and the numbers were quite interesting. So I couldn't wait to share this with you. So in today's episode, yes, we're going to go over Joe Biden's taxes. We're also going to review Kamala Harris's taxes and talk about, at a very high level, about Trump taxes and how much he paid. So without further ado, let's just dive in straight into the board. All right, so before I continue, I want to first talk about two key differences to help you understand why I always talk about business taxes over and over again in our channel. So for those who have been following us for quite some time, you know that it is very important as a business owner to really get familiar with the tax code in the United States, because the US tax code actually rewards businesses. Yes, they do. Uncle Sam, in fact, wants to incentivize every single business out there to reinvest their money back into the economy, whether it's through the creation of products or services, and why not the creation of jobs. So before we even move on to going over Biden's tax numbers, what I wanted to first do is to show you with numbers what I mean by the benefits and the incentives and why you should really, really thrive to have a business yourself and understand the tax code if you are a business owner. So let's just come and think of it this way. We're talking about a business taxes, right? So let's suppose that last year you generated a revenue of $500,000, right? So I'm just gonna throw a number out there. And then over here, you're gonna have a series of expenses, which are tax deductible if you use them for business purposes. So let's say, for example, you have salaries that you pay your employees that you will need to deduct. You will also have to, buy inventory because you're providing either a product or a service. So you have to have inventory in hand that you're going to sell. You also have to pay for your utilities, right? So we're talking about telephone, we'll talk about the internet, the electric bill, etc. And let's say you pay somewhere around $50,000. And of course, if you have a business, you need to market it. So let's say that on marketing expenses, you spend somewhat $50,000, right? So when you take all of these expenses right here and you minus it or deduct it against the revenue, you're left with this much, right? So that means this is your cash flow, this is your gain, this is your profit, whichever you want to call it. And Uncle Sam is going to tax you based on this number, not on this number right here, okay? So whatever tax rate you have is going to be based on this $100,000 right here that you got as a profit. Now, when you are filing for a personal tax return, things are a little bit different in the sense that Uncle Sam will not allow you to get all these expenses out. Uncle Sam is going to come and take the taxes right away from your income. So your personal taxes will look something like this. So we have here personal tax. And so let's say you generated in your salary a total of $100,000, right? And then on your federal taxes, and I'm just making up a number here just for illustration purposes. So $24,000, let's say you pay in federal. And then if you live in a state where you do have to pay income tax, now we're talking about $7,000 in state taxes. And in addition to that, you also have to pay FICA, right? And FICA, it's basically, Medicare and Social Security. So let's say you have to contribute somewhere $1,500 for that. So these make up of your overall taxes that you pay in advance early in the year. So when you minus this against your salary, you are left with only $67,500. This is what you have left for you. for you to pay your bills, for you to pay your rent, for you to get your groceries, for you to go out shopping, whatever that is, you have to confine yourself down to this number because your taxes are taken out first. If you don't believe me, you can check your pay stub. But see, here on the business side, things are a little bit different because you get to spend your money first as expenses that are, directly related to your business, and then you get to worry about taxes. But on the personal side, you have to pay taxes first, and then you get to enjoy your money. So with that said, let's just move on to the article. And there it is. We have an article here from Yahoo Finance, and where it talks about here is how much President Biden paid in taxes. So this article was actually released on April 15, 2022. And it talks about President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris releasing their completed tax return from their first year in office. And as a notable contrast to former President Donald Trump, Biden has now made 24 years of his tax returns public, and Harris has released 18 years of her returns. And as we scroll down, now we're going to get into numbers. So Biden, 79, filed jointly with his wife, Jill, reporting an adjusted gross income of $610,702. Okay, so for those who are wondering what adjusted gross income means, it simply means your gross income, which includes wages, dividends, alimony, capital gains, business income, retirement distribution, and other income, minus certain payments you have made during the year, such as student loan interest or contributions to a traditional individual retirement account or a health savings account. So now that we got the concept out of the way, let's get back to the article. So as we proceed, we find out that the majority of the money from the Bidens came from their salaries. Joe Biden, a community college professor, earned $67,116 from her work at Northern Virginia Community College in 2021. The first couple also received income from IRA, Social Security benefits, interest, and loyalties. And as we scroll down more, we see more numbers. So the Bidens' 37-page returns show they pay $150,493 in federal income tax, $30,765 in Delaware income tax, and $2,721 in Virginia income tax. And so when you add all of those numbers up, you will see that the Bidens paid a total of $183,925 in taxes. Yikes, that's quite a lot, right? So as we move down, you will see that in 2021, the Bidens reported $62,000 in income from two S corporations, which reportedly represented continued royalties from their previous speaking and writing engagement. And as we scroll down, you'll see a screenshot of the bottom part of their tax return. So here's President Biden's, his occupation, president, and then the spouse occupation as an educator filing their taxes and their signature right here. Okay, so as we scroll down, now let's just take a look at a comparison here. So while Trump has never released his tax returns willingly, copies leaked to the New York Times in 2020 show he often strove to pay as little as possible. He infamously reported only paying $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency, and another $750 his first year in the White House. Now, a big contrast right here. So we have the vice president's return. Harris and the second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff, released a joint return showing an adjusted gross income in 2021 of $1,655,563. They pay $523,371 in federal income taxes and $120,517 to California, $2,044 to New York, and $54,441 in District of Columbia income tax. So when you add all of those numbers up, Harris and the second gentleman paid a total of $700,373. And as you scroll down, unlike the first family, Harris and Emhoff made the majority of their income from sources other than their salary. Harris made $452,644 in proceeds from her work as a writer in 2021. She has released a range of titles from memoirs to a children's book in recent years. And in case you were wondering, neither Biden nor Harris sold any crypto in 2021. Both check no to the question of whether at any time during 2021 did you receive, sell, exchange, or otherwise dispose of any financial interest in any virtual currency. So, what are your thoughts on it? You think that every president should be paying that amount of taxes? Or do you think that every president should thrive to be more like Trump, and where they will try to maximize their deduction and use that money to reinvest it back into the economy instead, as opposed to paying it all in taxes? I can't wait to read your comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And while I still have you here, do not forget to check this episode on the side that's going to help you complement everything you just learned today. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.